Hey everyone, welcome back.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're here for another deep dive with us. We tackle a lot of big ideas on this show,
You
right?
do? Yeah.
And today, well, today's no different. We're going deep on something that I think resonates with everyone, bravery.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. I think a lot of us, we have this image of bravery as this, almost superhero-like quality. Like it's something you're either born with or you're not. But what if I told you that's not the whole story?
Yeah, that's where things get really interesting.
Right. So we're going beyond those big, splashy acts of courage and really looking at how bravery is something we build, like day by day.
Exactly.
And to help us do that, we're diving into a fantastic book. It's called How We Learn to Be Brave by Marian Edgar Bood.
Oh, this is a good one. I really enjoyed this book.
It is. It's so insightful. And the author, she's a bishop, by the way, which I think adds a really unique perspective.
Yeah, definitely.
So she uses these stories from her own life, from history, even pop culture, to show that bravery is a journey. It's not this, like, destination you arrive at. And one of the things I found most surprising is that she argues that our imperfections, the struggles we all face, those are actually part of what helps us develop real courage.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. If we never faced any challenges, if we never had any doubts or fears.
Right. How would we ever learn to be brave?
Exactly. So one of the things I found fascinating about the book is this concept of decisive moments.
Oh, yes. These are so key.
Yeah, and they're not always these huge dramatic things.
No, not at all. It could be any choice we make, big or small, that pushes us outside of that comfortable little bubble we like to live in.
Exactly. The book gives examples like, choosing to stay in a job that's really challenging or finally mustering up the courage to start that project you've been putting off forever.
Oh, I feel that one. Like finally cleaning out that closet you've been avoiding.
Right. Or having that difficult conversation you've been dreading. And the point is, each of these moments, these choices, they're like little snapshots of our bravery in action.
And it's like with each one, we're strengthening that courage muscle.
Yes. Exactly. It's not just about the outcome, it's about the process of making the choice. And the more we choose courage, even in small things, the braver we become.
So it's not like, okay, I did this one big brave thing and now I'm set for life.
No, not at all. It's about building that resilience.
It's like training for a marathon.
Exactly. You don't just wake up one day and run 26 miles. You start small, you build up your endurance over time.
I love that analogy. And the book really brings this idea to life with some amazing stories.
Oh, yeah, there are some great ones in there.
For example, there's this really powerful anecdote about Martin Luther King Jr.,
Uh-huh.
and it focuses on his famous letter from Birmingham jail. Now, if you're not familiar with it, he wrote this letter while he was in prison for his activism.
Yeah, powerful stuff.
And the book analyzes this letter as a decisive moment. Think about it. He's in jail, facing incredible opposition, but he chooses to continue his fight for justice, even from behind bars.
It's a perfect example of the kind of quiet, determined bravery the book talks about.
Yeah, the kind of bravery that's not always loud or flashy, but it's incredibly powerful nonetheless.
Right.
And this is where I want to pause for a second and ask you, our listener, what stories of quiet bravery inspire you?
Yeah, think about that for a moment. Whose courage has touched your life?
Because I think we'll find those stories are all around us if we just look for them.
Absolutely.
Okay, now for maybe the most surprising part of this book. Ready for this?
Okay, hit me.
It argues that vulnerability,
Yes.
vulnerability is actually key to building bravery.
It sounds kind of counterintuitive, right?
It does, but it makes so much sense. Because you know what?
What?
Buddy even shares her own struggles.
Hmm.
I mean, she's a bishop. You'd think, okay, she's got it all figured out. But she talks about her own moments of self-doubt, her fears.
And that makes her message even more powerful, don't you think?
Absolutely. Because it shows us that it's okay not to be perfect. In fact, by acknowledging our weaknesses, we can actually become stronger.
Yeah. The book argues that admitting we're afraid actually frees us to act in spite of the fear. So I want to ask you, our listener, have you ever experienced this? Has facing your vulnerability ever helped you to be brave?
It's a powerful question to consider.
Yeah.
Now, the book also touches on the role of faith and spirituality as sources of strength, especially in those tough moments.
Right. And I think it's important to clarify that the book isn't about pushing any one specific belief system.
No, not at all.
Huh.
It's more about how connecting to something bigger than ourselves, whether that's faith, a community, a set of values, can give us courage when we need it most.
Exactly. It's about finding that sense of purpose and grounding that can help us through challenges. Have you ever found strength in your own beliefs or values when facing a difficult situation?
So, if we take away just one thing from this deep dive, I hope it's this. Bravery isn't about being fearless.
Nope.
It's not about grand gestures or some kind of superhuman ability. It's about the small, everyday choices we make
Choosing to step outside our comfort zones,
to face our fears.
to connect to something bigger than ourselves.
Now that you have a new understanding of bravery as a journey, what's one small step you can take today to build your own courage?
Remember, every step counts.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.